Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 110. And last night I started filling in my spreadsheet, and I got a few more days into it, and then I had to leave again. My wife was doing some canning, and she was missing some stuff, and the stuff was cooking, and she only had so much time before she needed it, so I had to go to the store and buy some things for her. And then I came back and played with the kids and all that, and totally stopped what I was working on. So I did get a little bit further down the line, but I still don't have complete numbers for you. I will definitely have it for tomorrow's big episode, and yeah, we'll see where we're at. The Chinese lady did not get back to me until this morning, and said that she played slots and poker all night, and so she hasn't been to sleep yet, so she can't go. She sent me a message around 7 o'clock this morning, which I'd already left the house by then. So today I'm planning on 2 to 3 sessions of blackjack. Depending on timing and how things go and all that, I may actually go to a casino I normally don't go to. That's a little bit further away. We'll see about that. Today it is kind of cold outside this morning. It's about 57 degrees outside. Cloudy skies, a little bit of wind out there. So not the most ideal day, but personally I don't mind temperatures in the 50s and 60s, especially when you're walking a lot. That way you're not sweating or whatever. Just keeps you fresh and going. You're not falling asleep because it's 80 degrees outside. So anyway, right now heading off to my first spot. I've been on the road for about an hour and a half already. Still got a long way to go, and we're gonna go in, play some slots, and then we're gonna start playing some blackjack. So that's what's going on right now. You're up to date, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. So ran into a couple rainstorms on the way over here, and that slowed me down a little bit, but nothing too terrible. There was a few points where I had to slow down because the road just had so much water on it that I was a little worried about sliding. Finally got here, looked around, didn't see too much. I saw a okay play at $6 a spin on one machine. I played that one through and ended up losing about $280 on that one, so it was a bad start. Moved on to a few more small machines here and there, and just nickel and dimed, and just picked up a little bit here and there. Then I saw a guy playing a machine that was in position, and he was playing a high denomination, and he didn't have much money in it, so I hung around to watch to see if he would get up, but he continued to play. Came back around a few times. He had a little bit of money in there, and he finally ended up leaving. And when he got up, he left a small play, not a very valuable play, but I played it through anyway since I was down, and I only picked up, what did I pick up? I think I picked up like $25 on that one. So by the time everything was done, I ended up leaving down $76. So minus $76 at that spot. And I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I'm trying to just say, okay, I went through all the good machines. Don't go through stuff that's going to be going to take a lot of time. It's not going to pay a lot of money. Just move on to bigger and better plays. And because for a long time I would just, for a year I would just say, okay, well, I'm down 50, let me stick around until I get that back, and I might miss more money somewhere else. Now, I can understand if it's my last stop and I have plenty of time, then I can hang around, but I'm not going to do this otherwise. So anyway, whatever I said, minus 76, I think, on that. Right now I'm moving on to some blackjack. I sent a text message to the guy working on my car and asked him if he'd heard anything yet, and he said he hasn't received the part yet, but it was in a certain state. And I said, oh, I'm going to be in that state today, maybe I could pick it up for you. and he told me the city, and it was still about 4 hours away from where I am going to be, so it doesn't make sense for me to add another 8 hours to my drive today. Although I think they do have casinos in that area, but I don't think it makes sense to add another 8 hours to my day for that part, and then I would have to drop it off to him in the morning and then be late leaving in the morning. So we'll just let it go, let them ship it. Yeah, right now temperature's still about the same. The rain has finally gone through. I'm hoping there's no more coming in. The sky is starting to get a little bit brighter, and just moving on. Just I have no feeling today, positive or negative, just like a blah day. You know, you have your ups and downs. Right now I'm just feeling kind of flat, so we'll see what happens. You know, I'd really like to try to push it some more today. Try to make at least 1,000 at each spot if I'm not going to take all day to do it, or to try to do it. It's just I don't know why I feel like I'm in a rut, but that's where I am right now. The cruise that we're going to take is coming up in less than a month, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some kind of gambling on board, but not much, so that's going to slow me down. That's a week that I'm not going to have to play. And then we're planning our summer vacation, also going to be probably a week or so that I don't have to play. So for the year, I'm probably going to be 6 weeks of no gambling between all our trips and funerals and things like that. So got to adjust for that and try to make more weekly for now and try to stay ahead of things. So I just got to tell you, the way that things have been going lately, I'm just not very happy. I don't know. Maybe having someone ride along would be a good thing. So we'll see. Anyway, letting you go for now. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I walk into this place, look at machines, I see nothing. I see just bare bones. And then I see one little play at like $1.50 a spin. I spin that a couple times, and I'm ahead about $6 or $7 on that. And then I go play some blackjack. I sit down at a $50 table, and I'm spreading 50 to 250. And right at the at the second shoe, end of the second shoe, I'm ahead $650. I'm looking at my stack. I'm like, okay, time to start making an exit. But the count's still positive, so I finish out the shoe. I lose every hand the rest of the shoe, lose 7 hands, and I'm ahead like $50 at that point. Play the next shoe. There's a dealer change. Play that shoe all the way through, and at the end of that shoe, I end up ahead exactly $650 again. So I left at that point plus $650. I went and looked at some slots. I was down as much as, I don't know, $30 or so, and then made a couple last plays and ended the session ahead $90 on the slots. So plus $650 on the blackjack and plus $90 on the slots. Flying completely under the radar. I bought in with a $500 chip, and I cashed out whatever. Then I went to the cashier, cashed out just below their limit before they asked for ID, got rid of more chips, and all is well. So doing all the right things. And right now moving on to another casino. This casino is going to be a wild one, so the limits might be higher here, so I have to be prepared for a longer session, potentially bigger swings. So we'll see how that goes. Today there shouldn't be anything spectacular going on, so should not be too busy, so I should be able to find a table pretty easily. We're going to take a lap of the slots first, and then we're going to go look at the blackjack tables and see if there's anything that fits into what we want to play, and then I'll come back and let you know how things went. So Right now, temperatures rising finally into the 60s. Rain has stopped. It's clearing up. The ground is drying out. So everything looks much better right now. So I'm going to hop in here and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. As I'm walking to my car here, some interesting things happened. So I walk in and look at a couple of slots and really can't find anything, but I do see all the same faces in here checking slot machines all the time. I do make one small play and lose like $3 or $4 on it, but after that I go to the blackjack area and sit down, start playing, and pretty neutral the whole way. Don't really get a chance to raise my bets too much. Basically ended up with like a 1-2 or 1-3 spread because the counts were just so low the whole time, but grinding my way through, and then I hit a brick wall and just start losing and losing and losing. And I'm not in that much, but it's just, you know, I was ahead and then just hit the wall. Even though the counts got higher, I started losing, and I'm down like 1,000 or so. Then next shoe, things get a little bit better, and finally I get back to even. So I continue on. The next shoe is up and down, and I finished that shoe ahead $600. So plus 600 for that. And then when I walked in, I had seen a table game that has a jackpot on it that is actually a must-hit by jackpot. So I kept an eye on that, knowing that I was going to come back when it got close enough, if it got close enough while I was there, and knowing that it might hit early. But then I came back around and all the tables were full. I couldn't find a place to sit down. It was getting close to the time, and there was a table with two guys on it. One guy was just playing crazy, and he had his drinks on the seats. The seats were all wet and stuff like that. And I just waited for him. He ended up losing, but there was still like 10 or 8 hands left in the shoe, and there was one guy left at the table. So then that guy takes a break. I'm like, great, now what am I going to do? I have no idea what the count is. There's still hands to be played. And then an Indian guy comes, sits next to me, and he buys in for $50 on a $50 table, loses that, buys in for 200 more, loses that, buys in for 200 more, loses that. And by the time he loses all that on the last hand, the cut card comes out, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm by myself, and this must-hit buy is going to hit soon, and I have a chance at it. And I noticed it was moving up very slowly, which means there's very few people playing it, so I have a high chance of hitting it. And so I start playing, and the count starts going up, and I start betting. I'm on a $50 table, spreading from 50 to 500, and I'm losing like crazy. And I'm doing, you know, the side bet is not a big deal. It's like $5 for the side bet. I'm playing that, and I rebuy. I buy in initially for 300 actually, and then I rebuy for 200, so I'm in for 5. And then I buy in for 500 more, and 500 more, and 500 more. So now I'm in for 2,000. Now I have a running 12, which is like a true 6. And so I'm raising my bet. I got max bets out there, and I'm getting I'm winning the hand, and I'm getting double downs and losing and back and forth, and these big swings. Where I started this shoe at a $50 bet, I ended the shoe with $300 and $400 and $500 bets. And then I know that the jackpot is always about $8 to $10 behind, and I'm like, it's got to hit like right now, is what I said, because I know it's always behind, and it's reaching its peak. And he goes, it did. And I look down and I hit it, and it's a must hit by 500, and it hit at 499.75. And on the board it had said 492, so I knew it was $8 to $10 behind. So I knew it was happening in the next hand or so. What I'm not clear about is, do you just have to be in a hand? In that case, if you just have to be in a hand, then you want to be on the most crowded, slowest table, because you pay the $5 the least number of times. But if you have to if it's like the next person to put in money, then you want to be at a table by yourself so you get the most entries. So I don't know which way it is, but this is the third time I've won this, and I'm ahead about $1,400 on it. I think I was in less than $60 when I won it, and at that point was the last hand of the shoe also, and I was in for a total of 2,000. Like I said, spreading from 50 to 500, and I was down as much as 1,700, and I ended that hand before the winning that money. I was ahead $40. So $40 plus they gave me a $500 chip because it was $499.75. So I ended up ahead $540 on that table, added to my $600 from the other table, and then played a couple slots on the way out and ended ahead $5 on the slots. So not a bad little session. You know, it's important to be aware of your surroundings. I would have never played that table. You know, sometimes the rules might not be good on that table, but I'm going for something that's 100 to 1, and it paid off. So I ended up ahead that 540. On the way out, I don't like to label people at all, but I have to, right? I'm just giving you my observations, okay? So on the way out, I see this girl, and she doesn't look quite right. She looks like maybe a prostitute or something like that, and I'm not really positive about it. But she ends up leaving on the floor before me, and I noticed that she got a sweater on, but her hair is under her sweater, which means she just put the sweater on and walked out. So maybe I'm right. I don't know. You never know. Like I said, I hate to put labels like that, but it might be true. Anyway, I am walking in to the next casino, and we're going to see what we can get done here and see if we can continue our trend, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, a couple things I forgot to tell you about earlier. One was at the second casino that I went to, they are installing a lot more cameras by all the entrances. This is a casino where I've seen them chasing out a lot of people lately, including card counters, where they just sit down at the table and they say, "You're not playing today," and the person gets up and walks away. So I've been seeing a lot of that happening. I've been seeing them walking out a lot of people lately, and they do check license plates when you're coming in also. So we've talked about all the license plate stuff in the past and ways around it. So if you need more help with that, just email me, but I think it's in the other episodes. Also, I noticed that at the third casino I went to today, you know, they have a hotel also, and I noticed that if you walk in with a purse, they look in your purse, but if you walk in with a bag, like a bag you take on an airplane, they don't even look in it. So if I was going to do something, would I put it in a purse or a backpack where they look in it, or just put it in a rollaway type luggage and just walk in? It's kind of silly, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know, these rules are made by different people all the time, and they're like, "Oh, just go over there, that's the right way to go to get to the hotel," and they let the guy walk in without even looking at the bag. And I don't believe, I'm trying to think, I don't believe they have a metal detector at that one either, so kind of interesting. Anyway, this last casino I went to, I looked at slots first, I found nothing. I played some blackjack, then I went back to slots and found nothing again, so didn't make any money on the slots at all. Went to the blackjack area, there was only one table open, there were 2 pit bosses and 1 dealer, and luckily the 2 pit bosses were talking to each other, they weren't even paying attention. I was able to buy in, win $500, and color up and leave before they even put me in the system. They were talking about something very important, whatever that could have been, but I made a quick 500 there and went to the exits. Then I got myself something to eat. I know I've been doing this a lot lately, but what did you eat today? MW? Pizza. I can't help it. It's small, it's cheap, it's fast, it's already made, I don't have to wait for it, and I should get out of the habit of eating pizza all the time. But It just makes things a lot easier and faster. And then on my way out from the food area to the hotel, you have to walk through the hotel area to get out. So I see this couple, they're like in their mid-20s, and the guy's sitting there and they got their luggage next to them, and the girl is sitting on his lap, and you know, she's in his face lovingly having an argument with him, just, okay honey, and you know, this and that, but honey, this. And I'm thinking to myself, enjoy it now, because in 20 years life is going to be very different for you. I'm not going to say how, you'll figure it out, but enjoy these times where you guys can have friendly arguments like that, and your biggest fight is about what are we going to eat, or where are we going to go, or things like that. So what color are we going to get of whatever. Right now I am moving on to another casino. I may make a stop as well. Let me think about this. I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back. So I wanted to mention at that last place, one of the shoes that I cut, so I cut the shoe, she puts the cards in place, and she goes to pull out the cut card, and she exposes a 9 and a 7, with the 9 going to come out first and the 7. And then when she burns a card, she exposes that one just barely, just by mistake. So then I knew it was about 20 cards into the shoe. At that point I was still flat betting, I hadn't raised my bet yet, and I got a 14 just after a 9 came out. How did that happen? A black 9 had just come out, and I ended up with a 14, and I knew either me or the dealer had the 7, because I wasn't positive if they were exactly back to back or not. So I hit it and I got the 7, so that was kind of cool. I couldn't make any money off it. I would have played it the same way either way, but it's good to pay attention, and I do kind of slump in my seat these days more, kind of laziness, and also because I've tried for so long to see the dealer's cards and to try to get some insight as to what the dealer has or what might be coming up. And it was interesting that today I was able to see that. But anyway, right now I am getting close to the next casino. I'm about 10 miles away. Went through a couple more rainstorms, and it looks like things are dry over in this area, so I think it's going to be fine from here on. The temperature's up to 70 degrees, so you know that it must have been raining earlier, or it would have been a lot warmer right now. But we're going to go ahead and go into the next spot, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. I keep driving further out, and the rain keeps catching up with me. Back in the rain again. Just leaving this casino. I walk in, it's pretty busy. It's early afternoon, mostly older people in there, a few young kids in there, and looking around and just seeing tiny scraps of things to pick up. Not much at all. I was in there for about 40 minutes or so. I got some drinks for the rest of the week with my free food money, and just walked around looking for stuff, and there was just very little for me to get. There is one game that's a special game that you can't just walk up to and beat. You have to have the right timing to beat it. I played that and won a little bit on that one. And then on the way out, I was just checking a machine. I was up like 49.60 or something like that, and I'm like, come on, we can get it over 50. Let's go take the long lap around and see if we can find something else. I found one more play and played that through and ended the session ahead 107. So plus 107 there. I'm going to need gas. I did get gas last night before I left home. I thought ahead, even though I had half a tank. I filled up so that I wouldn't have to get gas during the day and interrupt my gambling. The last thing you want to do is be late to a place and have someone else get your play. But I will have to get gas here in the next few miles, so I'll start looking for a place to stop for that. Again, like I said, it is raining, so I have to deal with that. And they called from home. I don't know what's going on, but nobody's replying, and nobody is texting back. So everyone seems to be at home by looking at my map. So I guess everything must be all right. Right now, I am moving on. I'm gonna get some gas, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys. So right now I am in another storm, and I am doing about 40 miles an hour on the highway, and there's hail falling and a lot of rain. I mean, the road is flooded. Okay, I'm slowing down. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm now doing 30 miles an hour. Everyone's got their hazard lights on. This is just gross. This whole highway is flooded right now. Alright, going uphill a little bit here. Should be a little bit better. My goodness, this is bad. Alright, I think it's getting a little better up here. Wow. Whoa, holy. Okay. Whew. Sliding around a little bit here. I am going to pull over into the slow lane. Slow down even more. It's so crazy because looking in front of me, the sky is practically clear. Over here, everyone is pulling over under the bridges and stuff, trying to get out of this. And just trying to slow down is pretty much impossible. You just got to take your foot off the gas pedal and let the water slow you down. But I mean, it's crazy. All right, continuing on the trip. I'll be back. It's getting a little worse here, guys. Slowed down. This is crazy. I don't know how big these balls of ice are that are falling, but this is absolutely crazy. You pass this patch over here under the bridge. Alright, wow. A lot of patches like this. I don't know. All I see in front of me is light colored clouds. I don't know where this is coming from. But everyone around me is gone. They've all pulled over or slowed down tremendously. I'm the only one on the road over here right now. So, anyway. Alright guys, I'm back. I am finally through all that bad weather. I hit a couple more storms after those recordings that I did, and finally got through it all, and finally seeing a light in front of me, and seeing no more rain, hopefully. It was pretty bad, and the roads were very slick because there was so much water falling that it wasn't coming off the road fast enough, and there was inches of water on the road, and people were pulling over and getting under bridges, and trucks were pulling over. People had their hazard lights on. People were slowing down. And if you try to put your brakes on, you were sliding, so you had to just take your foot off the brakes and let friction slow you down. It was just horrible. So it's like it was as slippery as ice in the wintertime would be. So definitely was a little bit scary, but I'm glad I'm through all that. So where are we right now? Right now, just looking back here, 650, 1250, 17, 18, 23. I think we're up like 2,400 maybe for the day. So it's a good day, good start, and we're going to move on tomorrow, and we're going to have another long day tomorrow. If I had known that the weather was going to be that bad, I would have just stayed in the city that I was and just done tomorrow there as well, although I didn't have my work laptop. But man, yeah, glad that's all over. Good day though. I'm gonna go ahead and head home at this point, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Temperature is dropped down into the low 50s. Now it's back into the mid 60s again, but it's been a very crazy day weather-wise. But I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.